Maya's got a buyer. 6.2 ETH for a JPEG she bought for $80, 11 months ago. Easily over 10 grand. She's already spent the money in her head twice on 2 different things. Zoe, typing from a bedroom Maya's never seen and possibly not even named Zoe, sends one line back. Wait, is that even a real bid? Maya doesn't answer. Not because she doesn't know, because she does. It's 2 a.m. Maya's phone won't stop buzzing. A Discord server Zoe talked her into joining 6 weeks ago is going off. Hundreds of people, same countdown, all typing in caps. 10,000 NFTs, $80 each, first come, first served. Mint button live in 3, 2, 1. She hits mint, thumb actually shaking, which is ridiculous to admit about a JPEG, but true. Transaction confirms. She refreshes like her life depends on it. 40 minutes later, the cheapest one for sale isn't $80 any longer. It's $400. Somewhere in the same chat, someone's already screenshotting one that just sold for $6,000. For something that an hour ago didn't even exist. She hasn't done anything except be awake and quick, which for once in her life is enough. Her transaction spins for what feels like an hour and is actually 40 seconds. The gas fee ticking up $10, then $20, before it even confirms. She's not the only one watching a spinning wheel. Thousands of people in the same server are trying to do the exact same thing in the exact same 60 seconds, all racing to be the ones who actually get one before they run out. Straight from the creator, first come, first served, no waiting list, no negotiating. When everyone shows up at once like that, Ethereum turns into a bidding war over whose transaction gets processed first. Maya's lucky. Hers goes through. Zoe's isn't. She watches her own gas fee climb to $40 on top of the $80 before hers even confirms nearly double for the exact same JPEG because her transaction landed 4 seconds later. Keep that 40 seconds in mind. It's the same fight that 11 months later becomes the 6.2 ETH offer waiting for her. None of this is background. It's the machine that builds that number. What Maya actually owns is a line of code on the blockchain, a public ledger, saying her wallet owns this NFT, not the image, which anyone can right-click and save for free. And someone points that out within 4 minutes of every mint, like it's the first time anyone's thought of it. She used to find that annoying. Now she doesn't. Whoever's got the receipt gets paid when it sells, and whoever right-clicked doesn't. Maya learns to watch one number obsessively. The floor price, the cheapest one currently listed for sale, refreshed at red lights mid-conversation, the second she opens her eyes in the morning. It moves constantly, and unlike staking, nobody's paying her to hold. If anything, it's the opposite. Sell on most marketplaces, and the creator takes a royalty, usually 5 to 10%, off the top, forever, on every single resale. The closest thing crypto has to child support. One thing Maya notices early and doesn't think much of just yet, some floor prices jump in ways that make 0 sense on almost no actual sales. She screenshots one, sends it to Zoe with a shrug emoji, and neither thinks about it again for months. They should have. Some pieces in a collection are rarer than others. A glowing background, a funny hat, some unique trait only 40 pieces in the whole collection actually have. And Rarity is where the real multiples live. Maya's has designer sunglasses. Jackpot. 3 months later, it's worth 6 ETH, $15,000 on paper, from an $80 mint. She doesn't sell. Why would she, with a number like that still climbing? Zoe, who minted the same night, is still holding hers. Common trait, common background, floor price barely above break-even. You just got the good roll, she says, and she's not wrong. And it's the kind of thing you can say flatly to someone through a screen at 2 a.m. that would sound a lot meaner out loud. None of this works without the Bitcoin bull market, simply said, and yet nobody says it out loud. More people have to want in than want out. Right now, buyers outnumber sellers, floor prices are climbing, and every new mint feels like proof the whole thing only goes up. Here's a number nobody puts in the mint announcement, right next to the roadmap and the Discord emojis. More than 95% of NFT collections end up worthless. Usually not a scam. Simpler than that. The whole model runs on more people wanting in than wanting out. Right before the crash coming for Maya, buyers outnumber sellers roughly 13 to 10. A year later, that flips. No more buyers, only sellers, and whatever you're holding sits there. Floor price basically zero, like a browser tab you opened for a reason you've since forgotten. Maya, flush off one good flip, starts minting every new collection her group chats get excited about, heavier each time because $80 feels like nothing after 6 ETH. Most of them fade the slow, quiet way. A shrinking floor price, dying interest, nothing dramatic. One doesn't fade, someone makes it disappear. The project's called something with Apes in the name, 10,000 pieces, an anonymous founder. A promised game that never arrives. Sells out in minutes. A week later, the founder empties the project wallet, 798 ETH, about $2.7 million. Deletes the website, the Discord, everything gone within the hour. True story. It happened in 2021 to a real project called Evolved Apes. It took almost 3 years, but in 2024 prosecutors in New York indicted 3 people over it. Maya's copy of the JPEG still exists. It just doesn't mean anything anymore. She loses more on that one mint than on any of the others combined. Zoe sends a screenshot of her own holdings a few hours later, unprompted. 3 collections, all worth less than she paid. No message attached except a single skull emoji, which says more than a paragraph would have. Maya spends the next few nights doing something she's never bothered with before. Actually reading the trading volume and wallet activity behind a collection instead of just the floor price, trying to find the exact moment it should have been obvious the Apes project was hollow. You'd think she was obsessed. She was only getting started. By 3 in the morning, she's got 40 tabs open, closing them one at a time, hunting for a pattern the way you go through a bill looking for the one charge that shouldn't be there. And she finds one. Not the answer she was looking for, but a simpler one. If you sell something to yourself at a slightly higher price a few times in a row, anyone watching sees exactly what looks like real demand climbing. Enough of that, and someone chasing the pump pays whatever the trend says it's worth. Maya thinks about the sunglasses piece, sitting in her own wallet, still worth 6 ETH on paper, and wonders, for the first time, how much of that number is even real. Maya still has one thing worth real money, the rare piece from that first lucky mint. She doesn't want to sell it at floor. She wants what it's actually worth, or what she's decided it's actually worth, which by this point are not quite the same thing. So she opens a second wallet, funds it with just enough ETH for gas, lists the piece, buys it from herself, lists it slightly higher, buys it from herself again. 2 trades, 20 minutes, a few $100s in gas. Spent entirely convincing a ledger she's 2 different people who are both, coincidentally, obsessed with the same JPEG. Now the piece has a sale history, showing it climbing, twice, to someone apparently very keen to have it. Anyone looking sees exactly what she wants them to see. A real buyer finds it a week later, sees the trend, doesn't see the wallets. No marketplace tells you 2 wallets belong to the same person. And Maya knows that better than almost anyone now. He pays close to double what the piece was genuinely worth before she ever touched it. She tells Zoe, expecting a laugh, doesn't get one. So that guy thinks he got what you got? Zoe says, not really a question. It's the same trick everyone's doing, Maya says, and even saying it out loud, she hears how much it sounds like something people say right before they stop being the one it happens to. Maya doesn't answer Zoe's actual question either. The buyer will probably be fine. Plenty of people hold these for years without needing to sell at a loss. Some won't be. Maya just isn't the one finding out which anymore. She tells herself it's not really different from what the whole market already does to itself, every day, with or without her. She believes it completely. That's usually how this part works. A floor price isn't a fact, it's just the last 2 wallets that agreed to lie to each other loudly enough for somebody else to believe it. Subscribe for more. What would your NFT collection look like? Apes, frogs, or something else?